Well guys, it's that time again to go camping. This time to head into the misty woods, set up my tarp in the rain, cook up a delicious curry and share some exciting news around the fire. So I'll see you guys at camp. I've seen some wild hare, wild rabbits and some deers. They hear me when I'm treading through the woods, so they keep darting past me, but I keep missing them to film for you guys. Well, I think I've found my spot. It's a bit of a slant here, a bit of a slope, which is okay because I'm off the ground, I'm in a hammock. I don't need a flat ground for a tent or sleeping on it. And there's a nice flat bit here where I can have a fire and cook my food. I've got my DD Frontline XL hammock, which I believe I should be able to set up from this tree here and this tree just off camera. So I think this is looking ideal. So I'm going to put my bag down and get set up. So it is quite a large tarp. It's a 4.5 metre to 3 metre tarp, which would be perfect for the hammock. I should have enough space to stretch it out, but I'm going to have a little play around with it. The rain's settled down for now, so I should be okay to play around before the heavens open again. It's the multicam version this time, instead of the green that I normally go for. So it'll give me a bit more camouflaged, a bit more hidden away. But yeah, it reminds me of the Action Man days when I used to pretend to be a soldier. So I'm going to set this up now. Looking good and looking big. The trees should be slightly further away just for it to be a lot taller, a lot tighter, but I'm gonna have a little play around. But it's looking good, I'm happy. Time to do the back. There we go. Soon I'll be getting all the sleeping arrangements in my hammock. But first, what I'm going to do is answer one of your questions. In my last solo adventure, I asked you guys to ask me a question for my next solo camp as a little celebration for hitting 6k subscribers. Thank you very much, guys. Gail Knowles has asked me, when you are out alone, how would you get help if something happened? Now, what I tend to do when I go camping out on my own, especially I'll send my exact location to my wife so she knows where I am, and I'll tell her when I'll next be calling her, especially when I'm leaving. If there's no signal, I will tend to say to her, look, I'm going to be leaving camp about 8 AM. If you don't hear from me, just give it a few minutes, I'll get in contact with you. But she always has my location where I am, so that's always a good thing. And I always tend to camp in places that has signal, not all the time, but most of the time I'm camping in locations that has signal, so I'm at reach of contact with the missus and any emergency services. But that is just a bit of security for the missus to know where I am, and also for me to know that I am just a short distance away to get help if I need it. So thank you for that question. I'm going to answer some more later on. We are short of time today. I set off a little bit late to camp today, and it is 3:45, and it will probably be dark in the next 45 minutes to an hour. So what I need to do is get some firewood for my campfire and for my evening meal. I'm going to be cooking up a lovely curry tonight. I've never cooked a curry before, so this is a first, but I love a good curry. So let's get some firewood. that fire is coming along nicely now. Something I didn't plan today, which was attempting to do a feather stick. I've never done that before, but when I was splitting the wood with the knife, I just naturally started giving it a go, and I started obviously getting the curls of the wood, just getting the thin parts of the wood, just getting nice and short so that it will catch nice, especially with it being wet out. You have to really get in that wood to get the dry parts. And then I saw a bit of dry birch on one of the logs that I cut, started scraping some fine dust from the bark there to just get some fine embers. It worked out really well. It's not the sharpest of knives that I've got, but it served the trick. It's good to try out new things now and again and have a bit of fun, learning new skills, and I think that is definitely something I want to try again. It's a good skill to have. So as I'm sitting around the fire, I thought I'd answer another question of yours. And Zoe Patterson has asked, do you ever feel scared while solo camping? I know you like the feeling of being at one with the world, but I just wondered. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say scared, but I do get a little bit spooked now and again. When you're laying in your hammock or you've done your jobs for the day and you're not distracted anymore and you're just listening to the noise around you. I mean, today in fact, I've looked over my shoulder a few times because there's been a few little treadings of noises around, but I think that's the rabbits and the hares that have been running around, and potentially some deers as well. Sometimes you overthink things, oh, what is that a person or whatever, but nah, you can't let those thoughts overtake you. You just have to be at one with nature and just relax and chill out, and if you're uncertain, pray about it, or you know, just distract yourself, listen to music, call a friend. Sometimes I call a friend when I'm unsure. I mean, even now, look, I'm just turning around, but it's just the rain coming off the tarp. But there we are. Sometimes I get spooked. So earlier on I mentioned that I've got some exciting news to tell you, and one of them I would mention a bit later on when there's a special guest that's arriving tonight just for a quick beer, but it will make sense to explain it then. But one of them is that I thought to myself, you know what, Josh, why haven't you got a Camping with Josh logo yet? And my talented brother-in-law Andre, shout out to you mate, cheers, he kindly offered to make me one, and I thought it would be great to use on social media platforms, but also potentially to make leather patches, stickers, or put them on t-shirts. Now I'm actually wearing one. I made myself a couple of t-shirts and I thought I'll show it to you, and also obviously show off the logo, with the idea potentially if anybody's interested to buy a t-shirt, you can do. So I reckon in probably a few weeks or even a few months I'll do a special drop, a limited edition drop of t-shirts. Let me know in the comments down below if you actually be interested in getting one, just so I know how many maybe I should order. But let me show you the logo. So here it is, guys. Here's my logo. It's got a tankard, some axes and a fire, some mountains and trees, stay wild, Camping with Josh, established 2019. That's when I started camping for the first time. What do you guys think? And of course I've got on the back a nice fat print. I'm really chuffed with this logo. I mean, it just says everything about me, the tankard, chopping wood and adventuring outdoors. I love it. It's me, it's very me. And you'll be able to see me wearing these in my future videos as well. So let me know if you like one, guys. I might even do a giveaway. And the cool thing about this logo, I'm able to put on anything, including lasering it on like a blade, let's say, like a bushcraft knife, which is a bit of a hint, a big giveaway of what the next bit of good news will be. But when the special guest arrives very shortly for a quick beer around the fire, I'll explain a bit more then. It's a good fire, that. Nice and warm. Talking about warm, I need to put my sleeping stuff away in the hammock, ready for this evening. Got a new sleeping bag to test out, which I'm really excited about. So let's get that all all organised for this evening. So my new sleeping bag I've got is the DD Dura 2 XL, and I believe it goes down to -5, which is going to be super cozy, especially as winter is not over yet and it's still very chilly out. This would have been perfect during the winter camp I did in the snow, but this is going to be great for tonight. There's been a lot of rain, it's very cold, so this is going to keep me nice and toasty and warm. Let's get it open. So padded. Oh, feels great. One of the cool things about this sleeping bag, which I'm really excited about, it has a center zip running all the way down, which when you can get into your hammock, you can just have it unzipped and then just wrap yourself in, zip yourself up, which is such an easier way of getting into your sleeping bag with a hammock. Because normally with a normal sleeping bag, which is a side zip, you have to get into your sleeping bag. Well, I do anyway, have to get into my sleeping bag outside of my hammock and then get myself in and pull it up. But I can just lay in that, I can just unzip that, open it up, lay down, wrap myself up, zip up. Absolutely perfect. I can't wait for that. Right, it's 6:30 and I just got a message from Luke that he's here and he's at the entrance of the woodland, so I'm going to go meet him there and come back, and I'll introduce Luke to you very shortly and I'll let you know what I'm going to be doing. That's very exciting with Luke, so stay tuned. The way you just popped it out. Ah, beers. Beers always go down well. Did you get a Chinese?
Yeah. I seen on your thing you were like, oh right, well I'm gonna put a curry on now, so I was like, alright.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
Cheers. So this is Luke over at York Knife. So one of the little surprises I wanted to tell you guys is that tomorrow, or the week after this video, I'm going to be making a knife with York Knife, which I'm very excited about. Luke was saying that I can put a logo on one of the knives, so I'm going to get my logo on one of the knives. Yeah, we're going to laser tattoo it with the 55 watt laser that we've got. Yeah. I'm excited about that. So do you want to share a little bit what we're doing tomorrow?
So tomorrow we'll be doing the cutting out of Josh's knife. We'll profile it, grind it down, make it look as close to finished as we can, and then we're going to heat treat it. And then we'll build his scales, get all the prep work done for the day after, where we'll be grinding it and putting a sharp bevel on it and then gluing the handles on, making a sheath.
Exciting. So basically I wanted to get a knife made because I want to do a lot more bushcraft stuff on the channel, but I do a lot of cooking, as you know, so I want something that I can do a bit of food prep with. So, and having the logo on there as well is going to make it a little bit more personal. But I'm very excited, mate.
Yeah, me too, be fun.
It'd be a lot of fun. Luke camped with me. The last time was when we camped in the snow, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was a cool time. And you was in the hammock.
Yeah, nice and toasty in the hammock I was.
I was in the hot tent.
Yeah.
Even more toasty. So we've camped many of times, we know each other very well. So it's quite cool to go to his workshop, make a knife, and use it in my camping adventures. So cheers, mate.
Skål!
Skål!
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Oh. Don't forget your Chinese. Sitting there, mate. Nibble it on the way home. So me and Luke had a nice time catching up around the fire, catching up from our last camp. That was the last time we saw each other at the snow camp. But it's nice to do a little project together, go to his workshop and start making a knife that I can use for cooking and a bit of bushcraft as well. So tomorrow just going to be choosing sort of what style of knife we'll be making, what kind of handle. It's all very new to me, I've never done anything like it before, but I'll be in safe hands with Luke. But I'll get myself a nice curry on soon. It's only about 8:30 now, so I might be eating about 9, but that'll warm me up because it's quite a spicy curry. So I'm just going to enjoy a beer, with the sound of the rain on the tarp for a little bit, and then I'll get cracking with that. For somebody who's never made a curry before, I'm very chuffed with this. I need to taste it first though to have a actual say, but look at that. I am well chuffed. Chicken Madras with some spinach in there, garlic naan, some mango chutney, onion bhaji, samosa, some rice with veg in there as well. The curry I've put on some cashew nuts, some raisins, some coconut shavings, and I've got a lovely cobra to sip it with as well. Absolutely beautiful. Get in. Oh yeah, spicy. 3 chilies. This can be warm me up. Warm me up before I get into my extra warm sleeping bag. I'm gonna sleep well tonight, that's for sure. Cheers. Thought as I'm eating this, I'll answer one of your questions again. BJ Harris has asked me, so I was going to ask you, what is the craziest thing you've ever eaten? Right? As I'm eating now, I thought I'll do something that's relevant to that. The craziest thing I've ever eaten. Well, I guess camping related, slightly different, but in one of my previous videos, which I'll link at the end of this if you guys are interested, I went camping with some friends, Ben and Smithy. We went camping on the beach, and the idea was to go and cook some fish and chips in the cast iron pan. And I'm telling you now, it was the worst decision ever, because the cast iron pan pretty much set alight. It was ablaze, and the oil just curdled, and the only thing that we could eat was some fish that we cooked, and it wasn't the best. It was just awful. Like, there was no chips, there was hardly any oil on the fish, but we were so hungry. It was the only meal we were going to have that evening as well. Like, I was going to be the one cooking as a little treat to the boys, and it just all went wrong, and we had nothing else to eat. So we just had to share this little fish between us. But thankfully, Ben and Smithy cheered me up, because my morale just dropped. I felt so awful that I couldn't feed the boys. But we went for a wild swim the next morning, had some fun, had a good laugh, and it is one of those memories that we can look back on and laugh now. I mean, the boys laughed then, but I was mortified that we went all that way, set up, went for a swim, went back to cook food. The chips went awfully wrong, the oil just curdled, and we just had to eat pretty much a raw fish. That was it was cooked, but it could have been better if there was more. We had to just share this little fish between us. So that's probably the craziest thing that I've had to eat at camp. But at least now I know what I'm doing with the cooking. I've never cooked fish and chips since, but I will do it again, and I will redeem myself there, boys. I'll cook you a fish and chips one day, boys, on the beach, and we'll make it work next time, man. We'll make it work. Oh man. Well, it's been a good evening. Even though it's raining, it's very cozy. It's very calming, the sound of the rain hitting the tarp. So relaxing. That curry was unreal, so good. But tomorrow, another big day. Off to York Knife to get a nice knife made for my camping adventures. So make sure you stay tuned for that video, guys. But I think it's time for me to head to bed now and get some rest before the knife making begins. But cheers for the questions, guys. I'll answer a couple more in the morning, but it's time for me to get into the new sleeping bag and get nice and cozy. Cheers, thanks for watching. If you made it this far, thank you very much. Remember to subscribe, because plenty more adventures like this will be coming soon, that's for sure. Cheers. Well, I'm in my hammock now, nice and toasty. It is so warm in this sleeping bag. I might have to take a few layers off, but the fire's just dying out. Rain is still pouring on the top, but that gentle sound is gonna help me drift off to sleep very easily. So I'll see you guys in the morning. Peace. Good morning. It's another misty one and a wet one. I have to start packing up soon because I've slightly slept in more than I wanted to, and I need to get myself over to the workshop to get this knife on the go with York knife, so I have to pack up. But this sleeping bag, oh boy, it's definitely my new favourite sleeping bag. So much easier to get in, so spacious for me as well. It's an XL size as well, extra large, so I've got so much room, and it is very toasty in here, very cosy. I could just snuggle away for the rest of the day easily. But I better get going. I need to pack up. Right, let's get out of bed. So much easier getting out of the sleeping bag in a hammock with that centre zip. I'm actually quite tempted to use it in like the springtime and the summer, to be fair. It is a warm sleeping bag, but I do find the temperature does drop during the night. I'm not really a big fan of like the summer sleeping bags really, because they are too thin and the temperature drops during the night, so you do wake up a bit chilly. So that one, you know, if you're too warm, you just unzip it and just use that as a blanket, if anything. So I might give it a test throughout the year, see how I get on with it. But at the moment, very happy. I was going to cook a bit of breakfast this morning, just going to have like hot cross bun toasted on the fire, but with it being raining all night, the fire has been nicely put out, and I don't really want to leave it hot when I leave, you know. I mean, of course I'll drench it out and stuff, but I'd rather just completely kill it off. I've got some water that I can drench it and tidy it over, so that's what I'm going to do. I've got an orange, might have an orange and some water, and well, I guess I still could have my hot cross bun, to be fair, just not toast it. But it's 8 o'clock now, and I have to get to Luke for 9. Thankfully it's only 10 minutes away from this woodland, so I'll be all good. The tarp will be the last thing I'll be packing away, that's for sure, because it's going to keep me nice and sheltered as I put everything away. But it's going to be a wet tarp. But it's alright. I'll dry it out when I can. So I thought I'd answer one more question before I completely pack up and go. And this question's by Steve Baker, which is a good friend of mine, as you know. If you could take anyone within the last 500 years on a camp, who would it be and why? Very interesting question. Who would I take camping who was around within the last 500 years? Johnny Cash. Probably Johnny Cash. I reckon he could tell a few good stories around the fire, that's for sure. Play me a song on his acoustic. I mean, I sometimes listen to Johnny Cash when I'm out camping around the fire anyway, and I just think, imagine having a conversation with Johnny himself and playing a guitar. And his story, his life is quite interesting. Lots of ups and downs. And then in his later years, he found his faith and did gospel music and things like that. So it'd be interesting to talk to him about that and to listen to those tunes as well. Yeah, he's got a story to tell, that's for sure. Interesting guy. Good music. I think that'd be a perfect person to have around a fire, that's for sure. Well guys, it's been a great camp and it's time to head on out. That curry was absolutely amazing. It was unbelievable. It tasted so good. And that sleeping bag kept me nice and warm during the night while it was raining. So it's time for me to head out now and go meet Luke at York Knife to get that project underway. So make sure you subscribe guys, because next week the video is going to be absolutely awesome. The project's going to be great, and you're going to see a lot of that knife in my cooking and bushcraft. So until next time, remember to stay wild and stay safe. Peace.